This is absolutely wild news coming out of the NFL world. And if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, or just someone who follows football trades closely, you're going to want to hear every single detail about this one. Reports have just dropped that Logan Wilson, the highly respected linebacker from the Cincinnati Bengals, has officially requested a trade, and sources inside the league are saying the Dallas Cowboys are not only interested, but already preparing a major move to bring him in. This story has everything you could ask for: drama, strategy, and potentially a complete shift in the balance of defensive power for the Cowboys, who are desperate to find answers after a rocky start to the season. So let's unpack this massive breaking story, the motivations behind Wilson's decision, what it means for both teams, and how this could reshape the NFL conversation moving forward. To start, Logan Wilson isn't just any linebacker. He's one of the most consistent defensive players in the league over the past few years, a tackling machine known for his leadership, football IQ, and knack for being in the right place at the right time. Drafted out of Wyoming in 2020, Wilson quickly rose through the Bengals ranks, becoming a defensive captain and the kind of player you build a unit around. He's got the speed to cover tight ends, the power to stop the run, and a playmaker's instinct that shows up in key moments. Remember his crucial interception in the 2021 AFC Championship that helped send the Bengals to the Super Bowl? That's the kind of clutch ability that makes teams crave his presence. But recently, something changed in Cincinnati. The team began giving more snaps to younger linebackers, possibly as part of a long-term rebuild or shift in defensive philosophy, and Wilson's role quietly started to shrink. You could see the frustration on his face during games. He wasn't out there as much as he used to be, and when a veteran leader like him gets sidelined like that, it's only a matter of time before things boil over. Now fast forward to this week, when news broke that Wilson had formally requested a trade. According to those close to the situation, Wilson's decision wasn't just about playing time, it was also about respect and vision. He wants to be part of a defense that values his leadership, not one that treats him as expendable in favor of unproven youth. The Bengals, on the other hand, seem to be entering a transition phase. Their defense has been underperforming this season, and when a team isn't winning, front offices start looking for ways to change the formula. Wilson, despite his consistency, may have simply become a casualty of that shift. But make no mistake, the Bengals are going to miss him. You don't easily replace a player who's been the defensive signal caller, the emotional anchor, and a veteran presence who understands how to read offenses better than most. Enter the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, and a franchise that has spent the better part of the season trying to figure out what went wrong with their once-feared defense. After starting the year with Super Bowl aspirations, the Cowboys' defense has been leaking yards and points at an alarming rate. The once dominant front seven has looked inconsistent, the linebackers have struggled to contain mobile quarterbacks, and the secondary has been under relentless pressure. It's been clear for weeks that Dallas needed help, but few expected them to make such a bold move this late in the season. Now the Cowboys see a golden opportunity to fix their problems, and Logan Wilson might be the exact piece they've been missing. From the Cowboys' perspective, this trade makes a ton of sense. First off, they're not just getting a linebacker, they're getting a leader. Wilson brings championship-level experience and composure to a locker room that's been criticized for lacking direction on the defensive side. His ability to diagnose plays, adjust on the fly, and call out protections pre-snap could bring much-needed organization to a defense that's often been caught off guard. Dallas also values versatility, and Wilson fits that perfectly. He can play inside or outside, drop into coverage, blitz up the middle, or even serve as a spy on athletic quarterbacks. He's the kind of player who makes everyone around him better because he communicates, he hustles, and he sets the tone with his effort. There's also a financial aspect to this move. Wilson is still under a reasonable contract extension he signed with the Bengals not long ago, meaning Dallas can add him without completely wrecking their cap situation. For a team that's already paying top dollar to stars like Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Micah Parsons, that's an important factor. Speaking of Parsons, this move could have a direct impact on him. Dallas has been experimenting with moving Parsons around the defense, trying to use him both as a linebacker and an edge rusher, but the lack of dependable help behind him has forced the Cowboys to stretch him thin. With Wilson in the mix, Parsons could focus more on rushing the passer, his true strength, while Wilson handles the middle of the field responsibilities. That shift alone could make Dallas's defense exponentially more dangerous. From the Bengals side, this trade, if it happens, signals a major turning point. Trading away a player like Wilson is never easy, especially when he's still in his prime. But it may reflect a decision by Cincinnati's front office to prioritize the future over the present. They have young, athletic linebackers they want to develop, and freeing up Wilson's role gives them that chance. They'll likely receive a mid to late round draft pick in return, which isn't earth-shattering, but it's something. More importantly, it avoids the awkwardness of keeping a disgruntled player in the locker room. Still, it's hard to imagine Bengals fans being happy about losing a guy who's been one of the few bright spots on an otherwise inconsistent defense. For Dallas, the timing of this potential acquisition couldn't be better. Their schedule is about to hit a brutal stretch with games against top-tier offenses, and adding a player like Wilson could give them the spark they need to turn things around. If the Cowboys can shore up their defensive communication and limit the big plays that have plagued them, they'll suddenly look like a very different team heading into the playoff push. Jerry Jones, the Cowboys' owner and general manager, has always been known for making bold moves when his back is against the wall, and this might be his biggest gamble yet. There's a sense of urgency around the organization right now. This isn't about the future, it's about winning this season. Of course, there are skeptics. Some analysts point out that while Wilson is talented, he's coming from a Bengals defense that has struggled this year, so his individual impact might be limited. Others question whether one player can truly fix what looks like a systemic problem in Dallas's defensive scheme. It's a fair criticism. Football is the ultimate team sport, and even great players can't thrive without support from the surrounding cast. But there's also reason for optimism. Wilson's leadership style could be exactly what the Cowboys need. He's vocal but professional, tough but level-headed. If he can come in and stabilize the defense emotionally and mentally, that could pay dividends beyond what the stat sheet shows. Fans have already started buzzing on social media about what this could mean. Cowboys Nation is divided. Half the fan base is hyped, saying this is the missing puzzle piece, while others are cautious, noting that Dallas has made splashy defensive trades before that didn't pan out. Bengals fans, meanwhile, are processing mixed emotions: sadness to see Wilson go, frustration with management for letting it get to this point, but also curiosity about what's next for their younger defenders. It's one of those trades that immediately sends shockwaves across the NFL landscape because it involves a respected veteran and a high-profile team with a passionate following. In the end, this breaking story feels like one of those rare NFL moments where timing, need, and opportunity all align. A talented player feels underappreciated, a struggling team needs a spark, and another franchise with championship ambitions sees the opening and pounces. Logan Wilson requesting a trade might have started as a quiet ripple, but it's quickly becoming a tidal wave of movement and speculation. The Dallas Cowboys, always one of the most talked about teams in sports, now find themselves at the center of the biggest defensive story of the season. If the deal goes through, and Wilson delivers the way they hope, this could be remembered as the moment the Cowboys season turned around. If not, it will go down as another bold swing that fell short. Either way, everyone will be watching closely because in the NFL, when a player like Logan Wilson changes teams, the entire league